G'day, Brendan here with the Cargo Bike crew, and today we're going to check out the O2Feel Buzz. The Buzz is a baby brother to the Equo cargo bike that we reviewed last year. So this is a mid-tail that's approximately 175 centimeters long. It can carry one passenger or cargo on the back up to 80 kilos. And on the front we can carry cargo on that rack up to 20 kilos. The maximum gross load for this bike is 180 kilos, so it's fairly decent for a mid-tail cargo bike. All around the bike we've got MIK attachments, so on the front we've got the MIK front rack. You can put any sort of basket on the front there, really easy to take off. On the rear you've also got the MIK HD attachment, so you can put a child seat on the back, or you can have this pad that's supplied by O2Feel. On the sides here we've got the MIK side, or the studs. You can use that for attaching pannier bags. There's not too many on the market, so actually what I've done on the other side, I've taken the studs off and you can just put a regular, I've got a Nort-Lieb back roller on the back there. In Australia the Buzz 8 comes in at 6,999 Australian dollars. It's the top of the line model, it's the only one we get here in Australia. Comes in at the same price as something like a Turn HSD. In other regions you might compare it to something like the Uber Mini Boda Boda or the Bike 43 Short. It's got a 5-year warranty on the frame, a 4-year warranty on the battery from O2Feel, and 2 years on all the other components on the bike, so it's pretty comprehensive. The Buzz 8 is available in some really nice colours. We've got the metallic blue here, and there's also a metallic orange colour. Both of these really stand out amongst the sea of black and white cargo bikes. In other regions you can get the Buzz 7, which comes in a grey or a cream colour, which they're quite nice too. Full disclosure, any opinions in this video are our own and we were not told what to say in this video. Dutch Cargo kindly loaned us this bike at no cost for this review. O2Feel have done a great job creating a unique look for this frame using triangular tubing as a bracing through to the back of the bike. There are plenty of mounting points for accessories such as drink bottles or separate locks. On the front wheel there is a cafe lock, and there's a small bag with a plug-in chain as well. The mud guards are nice and solid with a foot guard on the back wheel. There's also a wide-in headlight and tail light with braking function. This video here isn't of the Buzz, but it's the same headlight and tail light, just to give you an idea of what it's like at night. The height range of riders for the Buzz is from 150 centimeters to 205 centimeters, so quite a big range there. You've got a quick release adjust on the seat post here, so it's got quite a big range there. Also the handlebar is adjustable in height as well, so you can get it quite high or low depending on your preference. It is a step-through frame with a really low height of about 50 centimeters here, so nice and easy to mount the bike. Just stand over the bike and get ready to go. We do have down the bottom here the Ursus Jumbo kickstand, which is not my favourite kickstand. It can be a little bit slippery. You have to sort of put your foot here to take it off the kickstand, and then getting it back on, you sort of have to lift the bike quite high in the air. But once it's on the stand, it is actually quite a stable kickstand. The drive system is the Shimano EP6 250 watt motor with 85 Newton meters of torque. The battery fitted here is an O2Feel 630 watt hour pack. I achieved about 60 kilometers of range in max boost mode, which is quite good. There is a simple remote for adjusting assistance and scrolling through data. There's not much, but all you need just for daily riding. The Buzz shifts on a Shimano Nexus 5E, which is an e-bike specific internal hub. Also fitted to the Buzz 8 model is the Gates CDX belt drive. All up, it's very quite an efficient drivetrain. You can ride pretty well, pretty nicely with no assistance even with the motor turned off. The brakes are the Shimano MT420 4-piston calipers with 180mm front rotor and 160mm rear rotor. And finally the tyres fitted are the Supermoto X 20x2.4, and this larger width really helps when you've got no suspension, so it keeps the ride nice and smooth. Alright, let's take this for a ride and see how it feels. Okay, let's just start with a quick acceleration and braking test. We're in boost mode here, maximum assist with first gear here. All clear, 3, 2, 1, go. Really crisp shifts, heaps of torque, all the way up to 25 k's an hour. Check this corner. Braking here. A little bit damp, but that was probably 3.5, 4 meters, so not too bad for the conditions. Bit of a skid. Yeah, the Shimano brakes don't have that initial bite you get from Magura brakes, but they are plenty powerful enough. Definitely enough when you've got a full load on the back. And also the pad compound and the rotor, they're all Shimano parts. It's just a really quiet braking system. Now, the Nexus 5-speed has a pretty big gap between gears, so sometimes you're choosing between fast pedaling and slow pedaling. I'm doing 80 RPM at the moment, which is pretty comfortable. If you shift up to top gear, 5th gear, it's 63, so that's a really big change in pedaling cadence, but you might find something comfortable for you. I think I'm riding mostly in 3rd or 4th gear and just relying on the torque of the motor. It's really good for just pulling you out of corners, only really shifting down to 1st gear when I come to a stop or for steep hills, things like that. One good thing about the Nexus 5e is that you can actually shift completely down to 1st gear when you're at a standstill. So that's really good for taking off at the traffic lights, making sure you're in the best gear. Yeah, just one thing to be aware of is when you're coming up to a hill or something, just shift a little bit beforehand, back off the power. It doesn't like shifting back down under load, so just be aware of that. Now, the handling is super fun. So it feels like a chunky BMX basically. I think aesthetically that helps when you've got the BMX riser bars and the fat tires and the pegs on the back. Still, it's a very stable bike as well. There's no wobble from the front end, even if you got it loaded unevenly or whatever. And the Supermoto X tires have plenty of grip on steel surfaces like this path or on the road. On gravel trails, they're pretty decent as well. But if you're going really heavily off-road, it's not going to be the right bike for you. And even with that front suspension, the ride's pretty smooth. It doesn't crash and rattle over bumps and curb cuts. So you just have to be reasonable with your speed when you're riding through, pretty much like any other bike with no suspension. The suspension seat post is quite stiff. It's sort of, you don't get that super cushy ride, so it plays towards the sporty nature of the ride. But it does soak up those really big bumps if you miss them on the trail and you just happen to hit a pothole or a curb or something like that. And as far as the saddle goes, it's a fairly personal thing, but I think this one's a pretty good choice. It's pretty comfortable for me, not too hard, not too soft. Even with the upright positioning, it's quite comfortable for a fairly decent 1 or 2 hour ride. So with 180 kilos of gross carrying capacity, the Buzz is definitely capable of carrying a heavy load, but I think one area that it does struggle in is actual storage space. So I've been mainly running with these Ortlieb panniers. This is the back roller. It's a 20-litre bag. You can sort of expand up the top more, but the hanging rails aren't long enough for a bigger bag, so there's not really room for those bucket style panniers where you can just chuck a school bag in or your grocery shopping or whatever in the back there. All right, still at the back here, there's no support bars that you get on the bigger Equo cargo bike. So yeah, if your kids are between the ages of say 4 and 8 years old, they've grown out of that full child seat, but they just still need a little bit of support. What I've done is I've added on this junior seat, so it just clamps to the rails here. This is the Tula Junior. It's just got the backrest and the seat belt to give them a little bit more security on there. My kid's got short legs, so he can't actually reach the pegs down there, so you can also clip on some extra footrests here. But yeah, hopefully something's in the works for like a child bar or something that can mount onto here, and that'll just help this bike appeal to many more families. So yeah, like I said, there's not really much space for school bags or anything. Up front we've got this plate. The straps I find a little bit fiddly. Trying to fit my kid's school bag under there. It's not a big bag and it just doesn't work really well at all. I think this is an MIK mount, so it just clicks on and off quite easily. And I think I'd just rather get a crate that clicks in there and you can just chuck your bags and stuff in there. No need for straps or anything. Load-wise though, it does ride really well with stuff on board. So still plenty of fun with the kit on the back. And it's still very capable with 2 adults on board, the combination of the Nexus 5e and the EP6. It can climb hills pretty easily. All right, riding along with the passenger on board. You can feel the weight a little bit when you're riding along, but you just have to try and be as smooth as possible, as with carrying any other cargo. But it's still quite zippy, getting up to 20 k's an hour in boost mode, no issue, pedaling quite lightly. Great way to get around without a car. Alright, just coming down. This is a 14% slope, so we've got it in boost mode, first gear. No trouble at all. So who is the O2Feel Buzz suited to? I think it's like a commuter plus bike. So you'd be using it every day, riding to and from work, plus any other stuff that you might need to do, errands and that. Its short size means that it's really easy to find a place to store it or park it. If you need to take it on the train, it doesn't take up too much space. And yeah, you got the heavy duty rack on the back, so if you need to carry passengers, do the school run, drop people off at the train station, something like that, it's really capable as well. And then there's the bonus use case to share the bike with your family or carry the family after work or just doing local trips. So it's really, really easily adjustable. Seat and the handlebars go up and down really easily. It's just quick to adjust for all sorts of riders. It's just got a super fun BMX-y feel, and I think the looks might appeal to younger riders as well. All right, hope you enjoyed our review of the O2Feel Buzz. Give the video a like if you enjoyed it or you found it entertaining. Please subscribe for more like this one, and see you next time. Cheers.